You know what? Maybe because I have been waking up feeling really good the last couple of days. And today is no exception. Or maybe it could be because of the fact that it is Saturday, which reminds me, happy Saturday, everybody. But for some reason, I'm feeling lucky again. Ah, I love the fact I'm part like 62% Irish or whatever. I do. I gotta thank my you know, friend, my Irish friend who just recently got married, who made me proud of all the Irish blood that's in me. Although, not entirely sure. I don't know if I ever actually mentioned this story, but back when I wrestled for Horseheads, because he was a junior, it was his first time wrestling. He did it because all of our team, because we both played football, and a bunch of the teammates, including myself, also did wrestling. So he did it just to try it, and he had a lot of fun. But there was one wrestling practice that we had. Believe it or not, I do believe it happened like the day before we had a snow day, I believe, where we're sitting around goofing off, talking about guy stuff, and this is before, like right around before practice began. And so somehow and I wasn't part of the conversation, but they were loud enough where I could overhear it. And they're talking about how, because of the old, stereotype that, Irish people really love to partake in a special kind of beverage, if you will, that they're really good at partaking in that kind of beverage. Okay, listen, I know you guys know what I'm referring to, but I'm trying to keep this PG, maybe PG-13, ladies and gentlemen. So, you should know what exactly I'm talking about, but I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, eventually it got into a whole, gigantic conversation of how, different nationalities are really good at partaking in these activities. And so, there was one who was 100% Irish. There was one that was part German and part Irish. One of my teammates. Another one of my teammates said he had him beat because he was Scottish, Irish, and German. Well, to be honest, I really didn't. I wasn't 100% sure what my overall genetic makeup. Okay, the genetic makeup is, I guess I could say, my mother and father, but what my overall nationality is. So I actually did a little research, and I never had the heart to say this then, but in terms of having the most nationalities who are good at partaking in these beverage-related activities, I actually have everybody beat. Because even though I've said I'm 62 or 66% Irish, there is also, so it's Irish, Scottish, Welsh, Polish, French. French people do love wine. And there's another stereotype that well, to be fair, everybody has to wine every now and again. A little bit of German in me. And yeah. Actually, there's my grandfather on my father's side, I do believe, is 1/16 Cherokee. But I don't really know if that's that factors into anything, to be perfectly honest. So if he's 1/16 Cherokee, that makes you 1/64 Cherokee, maybe? I don't really know. But yeah. Regardless of what nationality you are who you are. And and I really do think it's one of the main reasons why I still talk about Trinity Pauling. I love Trinity Pauling because, again, the most beautiful thing about Trinity Pauling was we were all, outside of the fact that we were all there for each other, because we were. I mean, yeah, we're guys. We're gonna talk about guy stuff. We're gonna, ruffle each other's feathers. We're gonna bust our chops, but we're guys. That's just what we do. You know, I certainly would. I mean, I was made fun of for several things, guy related, and so are other people. Although I partly, how do I say this? In fact, man, I really do not know how to put this. Well, the way I see it as is this: when you are surrounded by nothing but your gender, or if you're in a situation or a circumstance where you are surrounded by one of the two genders, you notice a significant difference in mood, overall opinion, and just straight up everything around you when, it's just one gender. Again, take Trinity Pine, for example. It was an all-boys school. There were no, I mean, yeah, we had, like, get-togethers with, all-girl schools and stuff like that, and they were fun. But but they were, like, on, like, Saturday nights, weekends, stuff like that. Although we did go to this one prep school, though I was in the choir at Trinity Pine, and we did go to this one prep school called Miss Porter's, I believe. Very nice place. There was actually a girl I thought about asking out who was also I was a PG repeating my senior year, and she was a senior, so yeah, that's actually one thing I am kind of what one of my main standards is. I mean, if any of you guys know me, you guys know I am 6'4". I am a giant among quite a few people. Obviously, there are people I know for a fact who are taller than me, but yeah, 6'4" is pretty tall. And as much as I try to come across as a nice guy, a lot of people find me on the scary side, which, is understandable. I mean, again, being tall has its own share of intimidation, and I have been known to be a little on the loud side. Surprisingly, I haven't been called out in any of the Facebook comments about how loud I can be. I guess I am really trying not to overdo it, I suppose. So, I get to Trinity Pine, the Miss Porter's, and there was one, like, to be honest, I completely forget her name, but the point is I really had a good time there. But that's beside the point. So, my point is, when you're surrounded by one particular gender, again, things are completely different. In guys' case, we don't have to worry about, being polite and courteous around women because there are no women around. Or the joke that if you act that way, then, you're, girly, stuff like that, which, honestly, that may have happened to me once or twice, but I didn't really mind it because even though back then I took myself really seriously, and in some ways I still kind of do. Now, looking back, I know that was really for my own good. I really needed a thicker skin, and Trinity Pine was just a place to do it. Although, having been in a situation where I've been surrounded by nothing but guys, and being in a situation where I am surrounded by nothing but girls, that can actually, again, it completely changes. Well, for those of you who are new to these videos, and I've said this story several times in the past, the second semester of my senior year at Horseheads, I took drama class with the legendary, actually I'm pretty sure she doesn't have a Facebook, so I could probably mention her name. The teacher was the legendary Mary Frances Baker. And, I did plays, so she knew me really well and stuff. But I'll never forget that first day, because I actually always was in the good habit of sitting near the front of the class. I was a good little boy like that, what can I say? And her classroom is actually on the relatively small side. Not that it was it was actually very small and also very narrow. Like, think of like a church aisle, only much smaller and again more narrow. That's how small that classroom was. But anyway, because I sit near the front of the class, and obviously the way the room is set up, the door is at the very back of the room. I'm at the very front of the room, and since I'm facing the window of this very front of the room, I have no idea who's coming in. So around the time class began, I'm just sitting there, mind my own business, being the good little student that I was, and Mrs. Baker is reading the attendance of who's there. And so, as I notice, also, since my last name is pretty high in alphabetical order, I'm going to be first anyway. CU is pretty high in alphabetical order. Not the highest, that'd be like AA or something like that. Not that kind of AA, by the way. But hey, it sort of connects to the very beginning of the video. Anyway, so she lists off all the people's names. I realize I'm the only guy there. I turn around for a little bit, and then Mrs. Baker says, "Well, Nick, I guess you're the man." I immediately began to panic. Partly because, and don't get me wrong, everyone's going to choke under pressure, any kind of that, or stuff like that. That's fine, that's normal. But I panicked because, again, I'm 6'4". I'm a giant. It can come across as intimidating, as well as relatively creepy. Especially since I was much more crazy and annoying than I am now. So, unknowingly putting me in a room full of girls who also knew me, who were also not single, and knew that I was the only guy there, I absolutely had to be on my best behavior. I had to. But there is one thing I did learn from the experience, is that it actually gave me a lot of, although I can say being in that classroom gave me a lot of practice for, just being around the opposite gender. It is. I should get this out of the way right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I am straight. I am. Don't get me wrong, there is absolutely nothing wrong with any other sexual orientation that there is. There isn't. The LGBTQ community, they're all great. And they're all beautiful in their own special way. It's just, I always knew that I had an attraction for the female gender, and so I do. Although I would like to point out that Disney is most likely a very key part of that, because, let's be honest, when you watch old Disney movies, especially the animated ones, you always see, the Disney princess, whether it's like Cinderella, or Aurora, the Sleeping Beauty, or Belle, Beauty and the Beast, and you see the man kiss the woman. And as a little kid, honestly, all I'm thinking is, that looks kind of odd. But a good kind of odd. I would very much like to do that one day. And yeah, that's pretty much how it happened. So, I was actually going to talk about something else today, but I found this video was actually kind of insightful. But you have to take my word, but whether you watch or not, it's cool. Just remember one thing. You need both genders in your life. You do. A lot more than you realize. And I am thankful for that every single day. So on that note, please like, favorite, share, subscribe, and hit that subscribe button. I can really use the support on YouTube. And yeah, I'm humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopeful that we all have a wonderful Saturday. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here. It's lend an ear. And I'm always going to have your back. So take care.